Bazball comes from Brendon McCullum taking over the New Zealand side and doing a horrendous job. And then essentially, when them getting smashed in South Africa, he's like, let's just play cricket the way we want to. Let's play it using our best skills, back ourselves, and everything else, right? And it becomes, that's where the sort of whole Neil Wagner thing happens. That's where you get, Luke Ronke and Brendon McCullum going nuts occasionally. Everyone plays their own game. They play to the best of their ability. BJ Watling goes from a failed opener to a quality number 6, and all these things work together. England see this, especially in the white ball cricket, and they go, okay, well, we want to play a version of this. So Owen Morgan picks it up, and from 2015 to 2019, they play their version of Bazball, right? Before we even had the term. Then McCullum eventually becomes coach. And he says, well, you can take that template that's working for you there, which is all your players who are really well suited to this thing. We're going to take that to test cricket because you're actually really good at white ball cricket, but you're terrible at red ball cricket. So let's use your strengths and go over there. Yeah. Now he's come back to the white ball team. I'm not even talking about, you can also mention KKR in the middle of all this, by the way. But you come back to all this, it's like, we're on like the 4th or 5th iteration of the original McCullum thing. And yet, when I watched them in this series, I saw them trying to slog horrendously. I saw them bowling bounces a lot and a couple of funky fields. It's the same idea over and over and over again. When you really boil it down, like if you want to go back, Neil Wagner, Liam Plunkett, Ollie Robertson bowling bounces in Lords, right? Through to Cass and Overton doing the same thing now. It's basically one idea that he just keeps pushing in all these different directions routinely. And now, in this format, watching them play against India, it just looks so outdated.
Well, yeah, nail on the head. It's dumb, right? So England were about the same level of skill as Australia in the Ashes that was drawn 2-2 over here. And the reason they didn't win that series, a lot of English people argue the weather. The reason they didn't win that series is because they were stupid, right? Fundamentally, they did some stupid things. Undeniably stupid. Declaring in the first innings, for example, Edgbaston, was it? Absolutely mental. Handed a test match away. Carrying on trying to whack in the 1 hour of a test match where it's hooping round corners, right? England are dumb. England are definitely dumb. And to watch the same thing happening over and over again, and the results steadily getting worse from a not particularly high level, and it's the fact that they can get away with it, Jarrod. They just keep saying, that's the way we play. And it's like, well, stop playing like that then. You're getting mullered all the time. So do something a bit different. And yesterday, we all kind of knew, I mean, you made some decent cash on it. We all kind of knew England were going to collapse chasing 250. But when you are 40 for none or whatever the first few overs when they were, what was it, 20 for none off 8 balls or something. You're like, okay, like this is going quite well. First over's gone for 16. There's just no thinking. And they actually did have a little bit of time. You can get the over of 20, but there's no longer any thought. And so what they're doing is they're going, McCullum was a brilliant player and he was something of a pioneer when he played. And he got his team, New Zealand, playing above themselves, and they had a great plan in the World Cup. He forgot to look at the ball in the final and all the rest of it. But great. But England, the reason why they won that World Cup is they planned loads for it and they were the most aggressive team, right? Morning, noon and night at the time. They were the most aggressive team and they packed their team full of people who were really aggressive. Other teams watched that. Like we just said about opening. Salt and Duckett sounds good 5 years ago, the way they play. 150 strike rate, great. What about when you play somebody on a road who's scoring at 250? Then what do you do? Because do you turn it over to Butler and Bethel and Brooke and go, okay, guys, sorry, we fell a bit behind the 250. Now you've got to go at 350. And they come in and go, all right, slog sweep then. Oh dear, there's 2 men there and he's bowling on my stumps. Or we're dead. Or let's reverse every ball no matter what happens this over. Like just thick, just dumb. And that's what it boils down to. And as an England supporter, it isn't justifiable to have these people in charge on massive salaries who are allowed to come out and say every time The results don't really matter to us. We're just happy playing this brand of cricket. England fans don't find it fun when they lose by 150 runs in a T20. That's not fun to watch. Getting absolutely carted and then getting bowled out for nothing.